This is Velo Stewart, writer, actor, producer, director, DJ. He has a great love and appreciation for filmmaking. This is Q Nice, poet, actor, producer, director, music, curating specialist. He has a great love and appreciation for music. So what do you get when you put the two of these guys together? You get a very special event called Music and Movies on the Zoom platform this Friday. Start time is 8:08 p.m. Pacific Standard. Join Music and Movies and say hello to the rest of the crew. Say hello to Gwen, Carmen, Clarence, and Fred. So put on your dancing shoes and get ready to pop the popcorn from Music and Movies on the Zoom platform. Sponsored by TRILLVISION and the Quentin Findlay Collection.
Is it vegan?
This is our Spotlight edition where we are talking with Cedric Hill and his film Noisy that is going to be screened at the Conch International Film Festival. Cedric, how are you doing today?
I'm doing pretty good today.
That's good. So tell us, how did your passion for like storytelling, film, how did this all happen? Where did this come from?
To be honest, when I first wanted to do something, it's because I did a play in Dominica when I was, I think, 4 years old. I played the American flag in a pageant and something clicked. Like, I can't even explain what clicked, but something clicked. And I just started telling stories. And, you know, I trained for years and, you know, the story just kept getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And now it's out there in the world. So the passion started at a very young age, almost something that I can't explain. But I'll be honest, if I could do something else for money, I would do it, because this has got to be love, because only love makes you this obsessive and this crazy. It's got to be love. And sometimes it's that stalker, like, I'm a stick, wait outside your house love. So that's where I'm at now. It's a love story.
I can relate. I truly can. So tell us about Noisy. Tell us about this film and where did it come from? How'd you come up with the concept?
Jeez. So Noisy it's twofold. It's part of it is I saw a couple on a bus ride coming home from New York around 11 o'clock, bunch of people, only one seat left. Husband gave the wife the seat, but she was having this horrible day. And what I noticed about her actually was her hands, because she held the side of him like she was holding on to the planet, and he was the only thing keeping her there. And then he leaned back and he signed something to her, and her entire face changed. Her hands relaxed. And she just kind of took his hand, leaned on him, and I sat there and was like, did that just happen? And, you know, the hands, the visual aspect of signing, I was like, why are we making movies with such a visual form of communication? So that, and, you know, the other side of it is kind of a love letter. It's definitely a love letter, because, you know.
Excellent. And how long did it take you to make the film, and what would you say were some of the challenges completing
the writing was quick. It was written quickly, but it took us I'd say easily 7 to 8 months to complete it, because I had to cast it, and casting, there are lots of people who can sign and there are lots of people who can act. But the people who can act and sign, challenging to find, even in New York City. But we got the actors, and then we hired a sign language coach, and we worked with her for about 6 weeks. And we were ultra specific about the signing and the communication, making sure we got the story right. Then we shot it, and then post was difficult because my editor doesn't speak sign language. So,
wow.
And then we had to sit there and time out the subtitles. So do you start them on the sign? Do you start them after the sign has happened a little bit, with enough time to get to the next, so it still flows? So it was a lot of, can we do it 2 frames earlier? Why not? Yeah.
2 frame. Oh.
2 frames, 4 frame increments of shifting things, just so the reading of the sign language was as fluid as the conversation, because both actors were fluid as hell, and neither of them are deaf.
Mm, mm.
Yeah, but they're signing. I mean, even the words that they mouth, we had to work through that. So as they were signing, there's certain words that they mouthed, and there's certain words that they didn't. We had to know all of that, and of course, I put them on a moving subway to Coney Island.
That's great.
So yeah, 8 months with the soundtrack, and because there's a really low rumble, and what it was is I reached out to some people in the deaf community, and they physically showed me what sound feels like. So there's a track underneath the movie of what a train would feel like with really, really high bass. I mean, very high bass. If you're in the right system, you can feel it. But
Right.
yeah, it's a heavy bass sound. And it's what it is the actual recording of that train in reverse.
Wow.
And that's the track underneath the music and all the other stuff.
To give you that feel.
Yeah. So I can't wait to see this in a nice big screen in person because it'll rumble.
Right. And so with you talk about the post and the editing process, I take it you've worked with this editor before. Have you worked, or this is the first time?
This is the second thing we've done.
Okay.
And
Okay.
usually I do it in English.
Okay, I was gonna say because and working with the editor, some people work with the same editor for all their films. So, but to ask them to do 2 frames, that sounds like there was a previous relationship there. Like you knew each other to get to that type of like.
It was
thing.
also some of it was him because it just didn't. It felt off in a way that would bother us that you wouldn't notice immediately, but in retrospect, you'd feel the difference. So this was an exercise of let's just do it right.
Got it.
Let's just make sure it's done right.
Got it. And so what's your proudest moments working on this film thus far?
There were so many people, the collaborative effort from my DP to the editor to the actors to the PAs, the other producers, the executive producer, everybody worked hard specifically to get this project done properly, so it was a quality experience. So the proudest moment is a bunch of very, very talented people getting together, and there was no fight. Like, let's get it done. And I'm gonna say I wrote a clear script, so it was hard to. We all knew the story we were telling, and we told the same story at the same time. So I think that's why we got the product that we got.
Got it. And why is this Conch International Film Festival? Why is this important? And what do you hope for your film being shown here?
We get a lot of information of what Black films should look like, what Black films are, what they should sound like, what we should create. And not only am I a Black person of America, I'm Caribbean. I'm very Caribbean. I remember, we came here when I was much later, so I don't have my accent anymore because, 1979, 1980 in America, they didn't like foreigners very much, so worked hard to get rid of it quick. But there's a creativity, there's a tenderness, there's a compassion that we have in the Caribbean that I think gets glossed over. It's not just let's lay back and cool. There's this general sense of we will take care of each other. And the ability to take care of each other in the darkest, loudest, ugliest circumstance is something that we've thrived on for thousands of years. And, that's why sometimes you need a noisy place to have a quiet conversation. Because anyone who's been on the subway knows as many people as you're surrounded in New York City is a lonely place. So nice. To make a connection, the possibility of making connection, the dreamlike aspect of the story, the music, and that is something, that's the compassion, the love, the harmony. That's something that I'm bringing back from Dominica here. Right. So I told a story, and I didn't put people that you think would be in it. And a lot of people have seen this. They're like, "Wait, you made this?" I said, "Yeah, I wrote it too." They're like, "Wow, this isn't a Black film." I said, "It was made by me. It's Black film." The editor's black. I'm black. Other producers black. I mean, damn, how much blacker do you need me to be? Like, I'm not going to jive for you, for you to say I'm black. You're going to have to accept that the entire grasp, the entire concept of the world can live within these fingers, and it's black. Just get used to it. That's the world that we've always lived in. From the beginning and going past. Just settle into it. You just settle into it. It's like, I'm just gonna enjoy the goodness. It's like when you go to somebody's auntie's house and you know she can burn, even though you don't like eating outside of your house, you're gonna just settle into that food. And then you're gonna be like, that was lovely. That's it. Just enjoy it, because it's here for your benefit. Don't fight it. Just let it happen.
You really said it well. It is here for your benefit. Let's not try and put it in these categories or put this film in a box. Let's just enjoy and let it go through and let it do its thing by, making us feel. Okay. So you said it well. So what's next? What do you have on tap for this film, or maybe other films? What's next for you?
We just finished shooting a feature film called Two Peas in a Pod.
Congratulations.
Thank you. It's about sexual consent in a marriage. So it's not a pretty subject. It's not an easy subject, but it is a subject that needs to be tackled. So it's this, that's going into post. And the plan is I'm going to Atlanta to film a short called My Friend, which is mostly Black people, but it's a young man who befriends death, and they meet every year the same place.
Nice.
Yeah.
So it looks bright. Future looks bright for you.
Future looks bright. I have another script that I'm working on. Hopefully I'll be done writing that by September, but it's called The Doorman. It's about a white glove doorman in Park Avenue. His brother, very smart. Nobody really knows his background, but he gives impeccable service. And one Christmas, all the rich people are like, we think you make too much money, you don't need a bonus. So he blackmails everyone in the building. Like, you gonna pay now, you gonna pay later, but you're paying. I mean, and it says a lot of things. It's dark comedy. It's like, look, this dude is charging you like $70,000 a month and you don't even notice. You can't pay taxes? Knock it off.
So it's like Superfly.
It is like Superfly.
It's like Superfly. You make it like an updated version of like, look, I'm sticking it to y'all. I got the blackmail. I got the folder.
And they were like, well, how long are you going to blackmail us? He's like, first of all, that should not be a concern. Second of all, I'm tired of people who serve, this upper crust, or just in general, not even people who do service for everyone.
Right.
Cannot afford to buy the things of which they serve or sell. So as long as I can afford to buy an apartment in this building with a starting price is $25 million, I'll stop. But until that point, y'all gonna pay. And you will smile and you will be happy about it and you will be pleasant to me, because that's the world you exist in now.
That's great.
So yeah, so that's the next feature. And then there's the TV pilot, which is terrifying. I actually was told by producers that it's too dead on the nose. The title of it is called Segregation. It's the legal, cultural, and racial separation of America. So not like different towns, like there's a line across America and you can't cross it or communicate with it. Just y'all over here, we're all over here. We'll figure it out. Because obviously together, we're going to just kill each other. So let's try if we separate, see what happens.
Wow. And
yeah,
and you're writing this pilot? You're the writer on it?
Oh yeah, it's done.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it's terrifying, because what does Manhattan look like without any minorities in it? Yeah, there it is. There it is. That's what it looks like. Like, there's no Black people. There's no Hispanic people in California.
That's on the head. You're hitting the nail on the head, though. You're like,
yeah,
they said, are people ready for it? Yeah, it's time.
I don't know. It's kind of a roadmap of how you would do it legally. It's terrifyingly easier than we think it is. to separate America legally. Yeah. And I actually draw a line and build a wall. Like,
Oh my God.
no communication, no internet, no phone calls. Interracial marriages, yeah, that's done. You got to pick a side. Yeah, I separate America. I'm like, we clearly can't do it together. So let's try it apart and see what happens.
That's fire. Cedric, that's fire.
Yeah.
That's fire. That's fire. That's fire.
Yeah, we did a sizzle for it and actually got some fan mail from a lot of white supremacists.
So that is like the Black Klansmen, because they might not. Do they know who you are when they just write? Or they do. They have to.
They know who I am. The problem is they don't understand that we're not going to get anywhere apart.
Yeah.
But hey, well, let's roll the dice and see what happens.
Yeah. Watch the first episode and come holler at me when the season finale. I mean, when the series finale happens. You know, I'm quite sure the series finale is what you're talking.
Well, what would happen if America did this for 5 years?
Right.
Oh, and all the immigration laws around the planet has shifted. They're like, nah, you stay where you're at. You're going to have to lay in this bed. The only place that is free and equal is we give Hawaii back. And that's the only place you can meet. But Hawaii gets to control who comes and who doesn't. So you can't just buy your way into Hawaii. They're like, I don't like you. You can't come. You'll be staying in boring New York now. So there you go.
That is amazing. I cannot wait till HBO picks that up. I can't wait.
Yeah, they're the ones who would be able to go, I'm going to show you what. And the funny thing is when the attack on the Capitol happened on January 6th,
yeah,
it was like, how you going to shoot my film, my TV pilot, and not give me royalties?
Right.
There's a scene in that where that happens. Like we get to a point, actually, I wrote this before George Floyd, and what happened is we got to a point where if we don't do something, this country is just going to tear itself apart. And these two guys come up with an idea. They're like, you know what? Let's separate this country. And they're like, what? Let's separate the country. And they're lobbyists, they're political pundits, and they go in and they say the right things to the right people. And they go, bang, let's separate. Let's separate, because once you separate, you have to deal with it. You have to deal with urban planning. Nope. And then, but there's an episode where we do the Olympics. The Olympics do not turn out as well for the United States. It doesn't turn out as well.
Genius. This is genius. This is genius. Well, so thank you very much for your time. We look forward to chatting with you again. Later on during the festival. We can hope we can catch up and talk again and talk more in depth about Noisy, especially when I bring my crew of people along who are amazing and love film just as much as I do. So thanks again for your time, and we look forward to chatting with you soon.
Thank you very much.